You're doing this just because you're greedy. Here's the position that I find myself in, and it's a challenging position. So listen to me here for a second as I kind of give you both sides of the equation. If I don't share this and keep it only to myself, and clearly it has been effective for us personally, and if you haven't followed along all the way through, I showed examples of how we were getting paid $64,000 in actual specific deposits into our bank accounts every 2 weeks on Amazon, how we built $1 million a year business, a seven-figure business, how Will's wife has built a seven-figure business, and how person after person who has went in with us have built 6- and 7-figure business very often in the span of less than 12 months. So I'm in a weird position here. If I don't share this, then I'm selfish because I'm only keeping it to myself and I'm not helping anybody else. However, if I do share this, I'm greedy. And it's kind of a catch-22 here. So the real reality actually lies somewhere in the middle. Now, would I ever share this if there was no financial incentive and no benefit to me? No. And that's why capitalism is so wonderful. Nobody would sell products on Amazon if they couldn't make money with it. We're not running charities here. We're running businesses. Now, the wonderful thing is you can be very charitable once you have a business that's creating value and generates profit to the shareholders, which in your case is going to be you pretty much and exclusively, or you and a business partner, right? And at the same time as the other point of this is a lot of the reason we've grown so much in our business is if I say, listen, here's how I'm doing it. Here's my innovations. So I come up with the breakthroughs. I lay the trail. I get shot at because pioneers come home full of arrows, right? And I figure some of this stuff out, and then I share it with audiences that have the same access to the same resources that we've created for ourselves individually. Now, here's the wonderful thing. This small circle of influence that listens to me, that has access to exclusively only my resources, which we do not sell on the open market, never have, never will, right? And they have my innovations which to play off of. You ever heard the saying, standing on the shoulders of giants? That's what I've created here. And the wonderful thing is my small audience, who I reach at the end of the day, even though it's a small audience, it's more first-generation Amazon millionaires than anybody else who works hands-on with an audience. They stand on the shoulders of me, and they say, Jason, I tried this variation based upon the resources you made available to me. And Jason, while I was over here doing what you said, I thought about maybe also doing this. And here's the beautiful thing. I learn as much as I teach. The beautiful thing, though, is this. If I have a couple hundred people or 1,000 people or 2,000 people that are all playing off the same game plan with access to only the resources that are available with me and through me, and maybe there I'm selfish, right? I'm selfish for all of our best interests because we want to control the flow of who gets access to them and how they use them. But then it comes back to me. In fact, when you click on the button below this video here, this live hangout, it'll open up a new tab in your browser. And on that page, you'll see one bonus that says $0 to $100,000 on Amazon plus Google AdWords. I'd never thought about using Google AdWords because it's so ridiculously complicated under normal circumstances. But then when James Watson, who joined through us, listening just as you're listening here today, having the same opportunity that you have here today in the very limited time it's available. And he says, Jason, I took what you said and I thought about it and I went out there and I did this. What do you think? I said, that's amazing. I did it then and I tested it and I validated it and it worked. And I showed a couple other people to make sure it wasn't a fluke. They did it and it worked. Now, these are just my customers, the people who joined through us, right? And then I said, whoa. And I go back to James and I said, James, can I share this with everybody? Now, he has the right to say no. But the beautiful thing, just like I'm very open with you, and I share a lot of things inside our gated community, which is the ASM Masters, the leader kind of assumes the behavior for the group to follow. And so now other people share because I've shared so much with them. And so because I was a big part of James being able to get up to over 100,000 per month, and you can see his whole story, not even his whole story, you see a part of his story, the best part of it. When you click on the button below here, he decides to give back and contribute back to the community. So am I doing this just because I'm greedy? I would hope that a rational person would not conclude that. Is there some benefit to me for doing this? You bet there is. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this. And I have to walk that fine line between what I share and what I don't share. Now, I am going to today, even though we're mainly dealing with specific questions and concerns and outright accusations based around this opportunity here today, I will still show you things for free that most people can't even show you in their paid courses related to Amazon, because the idea here is information only plays so much into the equation at the end of the day when it comes to taking advantage of opportunities. Information and how-to is very limited to the individual who's consuming it. And so there's a very good chance that information alone, if you were just going at it with that, without community support and without some resources that do the work for you, there is potential for error, right? So a lot of what you're getting with us today, when you sign up with us here today, and you can see those on the pages, a lot of these are services. So for example, the China Concierge Program, if you've never sourced from China, we got a guy who's worked with China for 7 years. He's completely on my payroll, works exclusively for me, for myself and my customers who sell on Amazon and no one else. And eventually, after you use him enough, maybe you'll want to come back and actually pay for his services in the future, although it's not required. But the whole point of it is that's a bonus that you get for free as a resource when you sign up. And you will not find that on YouTube. You will not find that on Google. You will not find that in somebody else's course. And if you find somebody who promises to help you, ask them their track record. We have a 99% satisfaction rating. And I believe that's over 700 customers that we help hands-on get a product. We actually have people as part of the China Concierge Program that are on the ground in China going directly to the manufacturer. So that's an additional advantage beyond just helping you source, is having connections that the average person does not have. And so a lot of this is kind of the oomph that we bring to the table. Now here's the other side, and this is how this serves me. And hopefully you understand that we're going to create a win-win-win-win situation. 4 wins, that's right. And it kind of goes into some of these questions here that I've seen here. Let me find a couple of these because I really enjoyed them.